it all, trying to feel invincible. Yeah, oh, yeah, oh, dying on top of the world.
Good evening and welcome to This Week in Sports for Wednesday, November 4th, 2015. I'm Mike McClung here with Tyler Dobransky, my main man, and Devin Olawani.
Okay,
Anyway.
taking shots to start the show.
We're going to move on to the unbeaten team still left in the NFL. The Packers lost this weekend to the Broncos. I'm sorry about that.
A little shocking, yeah.
Broncos remain undefeated now along with the Patriots, Bengals, and the Panthers. So what do we see out of them?
Well, we'll start off with the team that's leading the pack, in my opinion, the Broncos. They have, I think, the best defense in the league. And Peyton Manning, even though he hasn't been usual Peyton Manning-esque, but he's still doing a solid job with Demaryius Thomas. They signed Vernon Davis, who I think
that's going to be a big
that's a big thing
yeah.
that maybe can turn into the old Vernon Davis where he had like 11, 12 touchdowns a season. I think the Broncos.
But the thing with that signing is he's old. How many years are they going to get out of him? And they gave up, I think, 2 second-round picks.
No, they
No.
took a 6th and 7th.
A 6th and 7th?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
They gave up 2 sixes
Oh, no,
for
I'm thinking
Vernon
of
and
the
a seventh.
Joe Thomas, who they're thinking about getting, the left guard. They're thinking about getting
That didn't
him.
happen, though.
That didn't happen, but
Okay.
that's where I got confused there. Okay.
So we're off to a good start here. But anyway, I think what we're saying with Peyton is when he's great, or when he's good, he's great, and when he's not, he's eh. And the defense has won them 6 games, and Peyton and the defense combined has won them that last one.
Mm-hmm.
If Peyton's going to play like that, they're the best team in the league. They're almost unstoppable. But Peyton,
Has to be.
I don't
Peyton
think he's going to
Manning.
play like that the whole time. I don't think he's capable of doing that anymore. You know, one game is one thing, but to be able to play like that through a playoff run and the whole season is another. They have a great defense. They're still going to win a lot of games. They're 7-0 for a reason. It's not because they're bad. But I don't know if they're the best team. I still think the Patriots are the best team. They've been
I agree with
the
that.
most consistent,
Yeah.
the best offense, and
No one
Brady's
can
still
stop
doing
Gronk. No one can stop
it.
Gronk.
And Gronk as well.
I think with the Broncos, the underestimated part is their running game. I think
Ronnie
Hillman
Hillman.
has been doing a really good job. C.J. Anderson really hasn't been doing that much.
They finally, both of them stepped up this
Exactly.
past week.
Last game, they both did good against the Packers, and I think if they can keep that up, that will really help out Peyton Manning and help him elevate.
What about
elevate his game.
I think the most surprising, the Panthers, 7-0. Last year they had a losing record, still made it to the playoffs. This year, 7-0, off to a strong start. Cam Newton coming out of his shell, turned into an elite quarterback, in my opinion. I think Greg Olsen having another solid season. The defense, Luke Kuechly stepping up. I think
But they still, even last year when they were 7-8-1, I believe, they still won like their last 4 games. So they were hot.
Yeah, so now they've won 11
going
in a
into the
row
end of the year.
regular
They won a
season.
playoff game. They only got stopped by the Seahawks, who last year, you know, they were the
Seahawks
Seahawks
are
of old still,
not the
not the Seahawks they are this year. And now they've won 7 straight coming into this year. They're a really good team that nobody's really talking about, and it's a shame because they're pretty good on both sides of the ball.
And
They
I
got-
think the more impressive thing is Cam's doing it without such a stellar supporting cast. Kelvin Benjamin out for the year before the season with a torn ACL. That Devin Funchess, he hasn't been doing anything. Jonathan Stewart, who's been an all right running back, is doing all right.
And I think he's picking up his game just now. I think he's really getting to that physical running back that we're used to seeing from Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, I think just the team's clicking on all cylinders, and they're striving right now in the middle part of the season right now.
Well, the thing we saw a sloppy game with them against the Colts. It was pouring rain, and I think it was key for the Panthers to come out of that game with a win. And the conditions that it were, I think it was good for them to come out and fight for that win.
So do we want to rank them again, or we want to just skip over that?
I go rank them. And I think we're forgetting about the Packers. I know they lost and they're not undefeated, but I still think that they're a good team. I really don't know what happened with 73 passing yards with Rodgers. I don't think we're going to see that again this year or anytime soon.
Best quarterback in the NFL.
I
It's not
still
gonna
think
happen again.
the Packers are better than the Panthers and the Bengals, to be honest with you.
So
I'd go Patriots, Broncos, because I mean they beat the Packers, so you can't really say the Packers are better than them. And then I go Panthers and then Bengals, I think.
I think I'd have to agree with that.
I would have to agree with that too, just because Patriots and Broncos still undefeated. Patriots, no one's better than them in football right now. Broncos have best defense, and the Packers, they have one lousy game, but they're still.
The thing I do find interesting, I don't think Peyton threw a touchdown against the Packers, did he? Am I wrong?
I think
They
Ronnie
ran for
Hillman,
3.
Ronnie
Yeah.
Hillman had 3, had like 120, 110 rushing yards, and the defense just held them the entire game.
I mean, so we're giving a lot of credit to Peyton. He didn't throw a touchdown. There's always that. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, that's true.
just throwing it out there. Anyway, we're going to move on to the baseball. The World Series finally wrapped up. Mets lost. Royals won.
And listen, I gotta give
Murphy choked.
okay, Murphy, whatever. But I think the thing with that is that the Royals played really good, and I'm not even going to fault the Mets for losing. Although the first game of the series, Familia gave up the home run, they lost in extra innings, and the last game, same thing happened. The Mets blew it. The Royals did a great job. They resilient. I've never seen a team more resilient in the playoffs, but the Mets really lost that series for them.
I'm not going to fault Familia for the clinching game. I think it was Game 5. I'm not going to fault him for that because Terry Collins, I think, made the mistake of putting Harvey out there. I know the fans wanted it. I would like to see Familia out there because Harvey, with the pitch count all year.
I don't think you can take him out there. I really don't. I think it was a smart move. But I think once the runner got on base, then you take him out.
Yeah, when he drew the walk, I think you should have pulled him at least there instead of letting him pitch to, I think it was Hosmer who got the double or Kane who got the double.
It was Hosmer.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Which I hate his haircut. He just looks disgusting.
I hate Eric Hosmer.
So this is coming from Met fans, so that's kind of, you get the feeling into it, but I don't know. I'm not going to go back to the decision. I'm going to go to Game 4 because, to me, Game 5, it was over already. The series was over. Even if the Mets went back 3-2 trailing to Kansas City, I don't think they were going to win those two games against Cueto at home and whoever else they had to throw out in Game 7. They could just throw out the whole bullpen if they wanted to. To me, the series ended 8th inning of Game 4 when Murphy let that ball get by him and gave up, I think it was the tying run, and they ended up getting the winning run in that inning.
And a couple of games before, David Wright with the error to let the Royals win. I think the Mets made a lot of errors, and the Royals almost played like the Mets did against the Cubs. Took advantage of every mistake the Mets made. They took advantage of
flawless defense.
Play flawless. They stole a lot of bases, and the Mets just didn't do that in the World Series.
The difference for the Mets being tied 2-2 and 3-1 is the series, because if the Mets had that third game at home, and we're talking about they could have won, that could have went either way. Let's say the Mets don't blow it in Game 4, and then they win Game 5, they're up 3-2 going to Kansas City. That's a whole new ball game or a whole new World Series because of that. But then with the way it was, with the Royals leading 3-1, even if the Mets would have gotten that game, which they probably should have, I don't think it would have made a difference. Cueto pitched so good at home in front of those Kansas City fans the first time around. I just saw him doing it again.
It would have been very hard for them, no doubt. But, we got to talk about Kansas City and the bats they put together against these Mets pitchers. Were great, and there was no reason why the Royals shouldn't have won that World Series.
Yeah, I think it was Game 2 when they swung and missed like 3 times.
The first 2 games, they had 2 strikeouts. Harvey only had 2 strikeouts, and DeGrom only had 2 strikeouts, and that's saying something.
Yeah, they're strikeout pitchers, and to only get 2 each, that's not productive from either of them. And plus, the Royals, they were aggressive all the way through. Escobar, Perez, Hosmer, Gordon, Moustakas, all of them came up big throughout the whole World Series, and I think that helped them a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. Their batting really won. I think, and the Mets really didn't do that great of hitting. Let's be honest here, they didn't score many runs the whole World Series, but definitely the Royals.
Cespedes was quiet.
And then he got hurt in the last game, and it was just a mess.
How about Collins putting Cespedes in center field? Had 3 errors?
I don't even know what to say. You can't play Lagares over him, and Conforto was hitting home runs, so you can't take him out. I think he made the smart move would keep him in there, but it's just the matter. I don't think they're going to re-sign him. I don't think they're going to sign Murphy anyway.
Since you guys love talking about the Mets, do you want to get into the re-signings with Murphy and Cespedes? What do you think they're going to do? Do you think they're going to make the right choice?
They're not going to. They talked about it. They really said they're probably not going to. Their pitching is more important to them than their hitting, and I think in this case, 2 players or 4 pitchers, I think they got to go with the pitchers and try to get all of them back.
I'd rather keep the best rotation in baseball, in my opinion, altogether.
Oh, okay. Time out. 2 weeks ago, you said, how do you not resign Murphy? He's a fan favorite, blah, blah, blah. Now he makes 1 error and you're ready to toss him?
He made 2 errors, by the way.
Whatever.
I hope you're wearing your bulletproof
You did
vest.
2 weeks ago.
Being fired right now. Oh, my God.
All right, let's move on.
And you love Cespedes. Nobody loves Cespedes more than you.
David Wright's my favorite player.
All right.
Okay.
No defense for that. From the champs to the defending champs in the NBA now, Steph Curry and the Warriors still look unstoppable, picking right up where they left off last year. What have we seen? I think he's got 147 points or somewhere right around there. And
he has 4 quarters where he scored more than 20 points.
That's unbelievable.
He's good. He's really
good. All right.
He's good.
Thank you for your expert insight.
Honestly, it's not like he makes easy shots. He makes the hard shots look easy. It's just everything goes in.
Did you see that play where he slipped and he still got up?
And then do you see the insane pass behind his head?
He makes everything exciting.
He threw it around, made the guy jump through it, bounced past it.
I wasn't talking about that play, but I was talking about the one who
Tyler just put on a whole demonstration of the entire play.
That's what he does, and it works. I don't understand. If I tried to do that, the ball would go flying.
I thought you were Steph Curry for a second. Oh my God.
What about another, I think, rising star in the NBA, Andre Drummond, had 29 rebounds.
In one game.
He has 78 rebounds through 4 games.
He's taller than
Tyler's
everyone
crazy
else.
about this guy.
He's taller than everybody else, so he gets rebounds. Good for him.
But
Steph Curry
29.
just scores.
No, that's still really impressive. Are you saying that 29 rebounds is not something to be proud
Tell
of?
me
No,
someone who
okay,
can score
well,
20, who can rebound 29 in a game and score
If
22.
Any NBA player who actually tries to rebound, they
I
don't
wouldn't
try.
agree
They don't
with that.
box out. Unless we're talking about the All-Star, or not, I mean, that's the All-Star
All-Star
game.
game.
There's no one boxed out in the All-Star game. Unless we're talking about the playoffs, I think it's very capable for anyone to get a lot of rebounds.
I think
We've seen Dwight Howard get so many rebounds in games.
I wouldn't say the players don't try to get rebounds. I don't know about that. That's a little bit of a
I
stretch.
just think Andre Drummond is coming out as an elite, not an elite, as more of a star player for the Pistons now. They drafted him, 4 years ago when he was 18, straight out of college, and now he's only 21 and he's still turning into the player that they hoped he could be.
I think he's
So-
going to be a good player, no doubt about that. But I don't think his rebounds are going to.
Keep that?
Yeah, keep
Obviously not.
it's
29.
impossible to get 29.
If-
Well, I'm not
I
saying
mean-
29 a game. I'm just saying, just
Just know that he's averaging 20 rebounds a game right now, and you said that's normal.
because I never
You
said that's normal. I
you
said,
said
he
any
tries.
NBA
He's
player can
trying.
do that.
He is simply trying, and the other players.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love all these stats you're throwing out there this week. Just know that.
Just know
He
it.
just loves making fun of Evan and putting him in his place. Anyway, on to college football now. Ohio State's ranked number 3 despite being defending champions who are undefeated.
Because I think
think
this is
that's
simply
fair.
because all their quarterback issues. Okay, they find a good quarterback. Okay, now you get suspended because you're drunk driving.
Well, actually, their starting quarterback was Cardile Jones, but they benched
Cardile.
him. Same things. They benched him for
Cardell.
J.T. Barrett, and
Who
he got
get
the DUI. But I think
what I'm saying.
But
What-
I think they're more the 3rd seed because they're not winning comfortably. Like Clemson's beating people. They're beating people senseless. Like Ohio State's in those close games where they're winning, but they're making it like scary to win. Like I don't think they're winning like Clemson's winning, so they shouldn't be the 1st seed.
I agree, and I think I'm ecstatic with Notre Dame being number 5. I think that's a little crazy. I think it's good for them to be over Baylor because their quarterback got hurt. Who knows how he's going to do? But over TCU, I was a little surprised about that whole thing.
I'm giving big props to the selection committee because they're not afraid to put one-loss teams in front of undefeated teams if the team is just
Alabama.
better. If you're Clemson, right, and you're the 1 seed, and I don't know, you can make the argument LSU, Ohio State. I think Clemson's deserving of another 1 seed. I don't know about you guys, but if you're Clemson, are you telling me you'd rather play Alabama than Baylor? Because I wouldn't. They're just because Baylor's undefeated and Alabama has 1 loss doesn't mean Baylor's a better team. And I think that's great by them to say Alabama is better than Baylor.
College football loves Alabama, so
They
Alabama.
put Notre Dame in front of
But
Baylor
they're-
too, so that was my
Yeah,
shocking
and
thing.
but I don't know. If I'm Clemson, I think I'd rather play Baylor than either of those teams because those other teams are better than Baylor. I think they're just
wouldn't-
better teams.
I wouldn't have Alabama even in the top 4. I would have Notre Dame or Baylor, and even TCU. I would actually think about having TCU over Alabama. I don't think Alabama deserves to be in the 4.
I don't see
I think
why
this
not.
is
though.
the thing. This week it's LSU ranked 2 right now against Alabama number 4.
We'll see.
I
The thing
think
is, one of
that's
them's going to play each other out, which is
That's going to
fine.
determine. I think if Alabama can win that game, that's making a statement. I think LSU will win that, but I think that's a big statement game for Alabama.
I mean, LSU is a great team too. We're not even talking about so.
Fournette.
Everything, a lot of it comes down to conference winners. So, like, these rankings essentially mean nothing right now. It's whoever gets to the conference game and wins. It's going to be huge. But I don't know. Just I like the way that they're doing it right now, where they're saying we're going to put the best 4 teams there. It doesn't matter what your record says. If you prove that you're better than a team with a better record than you, then you're in, and that's all that's important to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. With
Just one thing that last year, when the first college football rankings came out, 3 of the teams that were in there were not in there. It was Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Florida State, and I think Baylor. But at the end, it was Alabama, Florida State, Oregon, and Ohio State who won it. And the Ohio State was a 16 seed, so anything could happen.
Well, 4 seed.
Well, 16 seed in the original.
Oh,
In the
okay,
original,
gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
So you guys picked TCU a couple weeks ago to win. Are you sticking with that?
I'm sticking. No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to go Notre Dame. I love them.
That's no fun. You're just going to change it every week.
Yeah, I am going to change it.
That's
every
boring.
week.
I picked Clemson 2 weeks ago. I'm sticking with
And
Clemson.
I'm proud of you for that.
All right.
He did say it, and I want to give you props for that.
All right, I'm an Ohio State fan, but I don't think they're going to take this year. My money's on Baylor.
With
Really?
no quarterback. Okay.
Wow.
Good choice.
So wait, I'm just curious as to why you picked Baylor. Or you didn't pick Baylor a couple weeks ago at full strength, and now you're picking Baylor.
Well, because I think their I think they could even win without their quarterback. I just feel
So they couldn't win with their
no,
quarterback.
they could win their quarterback.
But they couldn't beat TCU with their quarterback.
I'm done talking.
I don't think Tyler knows what he's saying right now.
I'm
That's
done.
going to wrap it up for this week in sports. For Evan Olawani and Tyler Dobransky, I'm Mike McClung. Have a great day.